Hello, this is Heisenberg.
Hey there, it's G Forever.
Yes, and here's everything we know and everything we want from the upcoming Godzilla TV series. And we're joined by two other Godzilla fans and outstanding YouTubers. So first there's Steve from the Geek Chest,
Hey, Rangers.
and also joined by Oh My Godzilla.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Oh, great to have you guys all here. And okay, we're going to first start with the facts about what we know about the series. And there's also some rumors, and we'll talk about the rumors, and then we'll have a nice, fun discussion about also what we want. So yeah,
All
the
right.
Godzilla TV show has been announced. Its status is the series has been ordered, and it's going to be live action. It's set in the Legendary's MonsterVerse, possibly after the events of the 2014 movie. The press release seemed to imply that, though it's not absolutely clear that that's the true. And the title of the series, it has no title yet. No title. Release date. It has no release date yet. Don't know that either.
But we do know the streaming service.
Yeah, the streaming service is Apple TV Plus. And one thing about Apple TV Plus, what they tend to do is they tend to release episodes weekly. So that's no guarantee that every show is going to be like that. And then the plot, here's basically the plot. So the series explores, again, this is from the official press release. The series explores one family's journey to uncover its buried secrets and a legacy linking them to the secret organization known as Monarch. All right. So then the showrunner is Chris Black, who was like in charge of the show Outcast, which is based on the was it Robert Kirkman comic book. So Robert Kirkman created The Walking Dead. He wrote the comic book and then helped create this TV series. And but another comic book he wrote was Outcast, which is the supernatural horror comic book, and it got turned into a TV series in 2016. Yeah, well, anyway, it got well reviewed, but I think it lasted 2 seasons and it got good reviews. So I watched like the trailer, and watching the trailer, I thought, oh yeah, this guy might actually be good at. It was certainly being like a horror show. It was certainly very moody, but I thought, oh yeah, this actually might work. Okay, this guy might be able to reuse some of these skills in sort of like a Godzilla series. Okay, so not a lot that we know so far, but there are some rumors.
Yes.
So there's two rumors, but I would regard this as rumors. One is from the website Giant Freaking Robot, but unfortunately, Giant Freaking Robot is an unreliable source. So basically, they've said a lot of things over the years where they tend to just basically
Make stuff up.
make stuff up just to get people to go to their website.
Yeah, it looks like there are going to be 4 characters, and one is Kate. She's a Japanese American who travels to Japan and then discovers there are family secrets. And then 2 other characters, Kentaro and Keiko, are also in Japan. It looks like Kentaro will also be discovering family secrets, and Keiko is a scientist. And then is there like a May, who's a British expat? And I think that's all we know so far from that source.
Okay, and but there's one other source of rumors, a website I'd never heard of called Murphy's Multiverse. And they claim that they know the working title of the series, which again is like a working title may not end up being the final title. Working title is Hourglass. And it says that the casting is underway. Production is scheduled to begin in May and end in November. And the production locations include Tokyo, Vancouver, and Hawaii.
Okay.
So all good things if it were actually true.
Yeah, I mean those locations kind of match up with where they've been filming with the MonsterVerse.
Yeah,
I think I saw that one pop up on a few other websites too that I was looking through.
Oh yeah,
There's quite a few people that are mentioning the Hourglass thing.
Yeah. So May and November of this year, Heisenberg, or did they have a? Okay.
So one thing that we don't know is like what if there's going to be any monsters in it. Is Godzilla going to be in it? Will there be Toho monsters? Will there be like some of the legendary monsters? Or will there be brand new monsters that we've never seen before?
From what I hear so far, with it taking place after 2014, I'd be more inclined to believe that they're going to probably try to reuse a lot of the monsters that they already have available, and then maybe possibly sprinkle in a couple of things here and there. Because even the way the movies are based, they know a certain amount of monsters, but that's about it. So I'm hard to believe that they're going to be introducing anything really new that isn't really available information for us. I would like to see some of the other Toho monsters kind of maybe pop up here and there, sprinkling. I would be hard pressed to believe Godzilla's going to be in it a lot. If anything, it'd probably be more like singular point where he might be doing something, but I don't think there's going to probably be a lot of monster battles. If anything, I think it's going to probably end up more kind of like Ultra Q in a sense, where they're investigating and just the monsters just kind of pop in periodically here and there.
Well, obviously, I'd like to see the more the merrier, pretty much. I think that's where one of the big fears that I've been seeing people talking about is kind of stemming from is people are afraid it's going to be way too focused on the people stories and just kind of, be people living in this world and discovering, checking out Monarch and not really seeing much monster action, which could be done well. But obviously, if it's going to take place in that universe, we want to see some monsters. And I did read somewhere that since it takes place in the past, I did read somewhere that Muto Prime from that Godzilla Aftershock comic might be in it, which would be kind of cool to get the Mutos back on screen and get that huge Muto Prime on there. Muto Prime is basically just like as a Muto, but it's way bigger and stronger. And Godzilla fights it in the comic.
Yeah, so it's interesting. Like, if it's taking place after the 2014 film, I personally would have preferred if they took it, if the film or if the series took place after Godzilla versus Kong, because then we have more access to like the new world, I guess you can call it. But because it's after the 2014 film and before 2019, that means most of the kaiju are probably still dormant. So I have a feeling we won't see much from the 2019 film, but I'm gonna guess we'll see a lot more Mutos, maybe a few more of the creatures from Skull Island, maybe like various different versions of them. So maybe the water buffalo, I think, is one of your favorites. So maybe one of them gets
a
ashore or
dedicated episode.
Yeah. But I mean, I would prefer to see a lot more Toho monsters because I just love the classic kaiju. I have a feeling we'll probably be seeing some new creatures just because of the whole how the copyright stuff works. And fingers crossed they might slide in maybe Anguirus or like maybe Komanga or Kamacuras, Ebira, like some of this maybe less powerful monsters, and that'll be kind of cool to see like a new version of them.
Well, I'm thinking that Godzilla will show up at some point.
Yep.
Because it's
I would hope so.
It would be very disappointing to have a Godzilla, legendary Godzilla TV show without Godzilla. So I think he'll show up. I think the Toho monsters are unlikely because that would make the show more expensive.
Yes,
I think Toho makes you pay per monster.
Yes.
And so I think just to keep the price down, they're going to leave out
Godzilla only.
Yeah, unless it's a big hit and they're able to maybe after in season 2 add some Toho monsters. But I would hope that they'd have some of the legendary monsters. And I was actually hoping it would be set after 2019 so that we could get the 2019 monsters in it, like the new ones like Behemoth.
Yep.
Though
and Skilla and all the other ones.
I'm hoping they go to Skull Island and we see the Skull Island monsters, because that movie like took place more in the past, so maybe they could film that on in Hawaii. And I'd like to see the water buffalo. I'm a big fan of the water buffalo, so we'll see. But then another possibility is that there'd be brand new monsters in this series that have never been shown before. So that would be fun. It's like I'd like to see some new monsters too.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. And even just like finding the locations, like how they actually knew where the monsters were actually located.
Yeah,
would actually be cool to find out.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'd flash back in time, because I take it, my impression is that this is sort of like going to have like a bit of a detective feel to it, where it's like these main characters are like trying to learn more about Monarch and learn more about these Titans. Like it's sort of like on a quest to learn more. And so I thought maybe they would it'll have like an archaeological feel too, to sort of like talk about the past. They could also go to that inside the Hollow Earth. There's another place they could go.
That would be awesome. But the problem of that part is I'm just afraid if they do that, it'll be we won't really see Godzilla because Godzilla's kind of above the waters.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Okay.
Hollow Earth would be great because that's a very beautiful setting that we saw in the Godzilla versus Kong, and lots of possibilities since it was briefly touched.
Oh yeah.
So much to explore there.
Yep.
Need more Doug in our lives.
Oh
We
yeah, yeah,
do.
yeah. So what sort of monster fights do you think we might get, or like what sort of monster fights do you want? So yeah, like again, as Oh My Godzilla mentioned, it might be Godzilla versus a Muto.
Even just like to see some of the legendary monsters conflict with each other. Just to
Yeah.
see how those like how they would actually battle it out. Behemoth
Mount,
and
yeah.
Silo. Is that how you say it?
Which one? The spider one?
Yeah, the spider with the tentacles.
Skila, I
Skila.
think.
I
Yeah.
always mess that up even in the videos. But even just like how they actually like combated with the other monsters and like how
Yeah.
they defend themselves, I think would be neat.
Yeah. Maybe see like some like giant skull crawlers and then they had I don't know, like skull crawler versus Muto or something, like a whole pack of them. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
they're essentially like our canon father of the universe, anyways, for the most
Yeah.
part.
There's a lot I'd hope for, but not many I'm optimistic would happen. Like again, like we had kind of already mentioned, it'd be awesome to get something with monsters that we, I guess at the point of the show probably taking place, we haven't seen yet, but ones that came in the 2019 movie. So obviously, it'd be cool to see the actual Ghidorah Rodan battle
Yeah.
that we got stiffed on in King of the Monsters. Or to see some sort of action with the Mothra larva in Hong Kong, maybe, or is that where the Mothra larva was when we first met her?
I think
was she in Japan? She was in Japan.
She was in
Or
Yunnan,
it was a
China.
Chinese.
Yeah,
you're
Yunnan,
right.
China.
Get something of that base, maybe.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys remember when King of the Monsters was about to come out, they put out that website that it was like a Godzilla tracker.
Yep.
And it showed you all I actually
locations.
just today I revisited that website, and it hasn't really been updated in a while, but I just checked the filming locations, and Vancouver doesn't have anything and Hawaii doesn't have anything, but we were in Hawaii for 2014 with that airport scene.
Yeah.
But Japan does have one in Mount Fuji. It's like this Titanus, I don't even know how to say it, Yamata no Oraki.
Oh, Orochi. That's the
yeah.
eight-headed dragon.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I kind of like looked up some stuff about that and so maybe there's a chance we'll kind of meet that thing, and it could be kind
that
of
would be awesome.
A potential antagonist monster throughout the series. But and there's some cool information on that website that, which still exists. I didn't even know if it existed still, but yeah, so there was some cool stuff on that. So I thought maybe since that was in Japan and they're filming in Japan, we could get some Mount Fuji action and meet that creature, because he sounds really interesting.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I think actually that Toho made him because that's actually a mythological creature. And I think it's pretty much like a Hydra. You cut off one head and then more heads grow. And I believe Toho actually made several movies. And the more like recent one was in 94, 93 era. And I haven't seen it, but that movie had a pretty cool like a red Orochi dragon.
I've got the Bandai. I own the Bandai toy.
You got the Bandai.
Yeah, I was about to mention that. I was like, I haven't seen it, but the figure's sweet.
Yeah, exactly.
The really big red one.
Yeah, I haven't watched the whole movie, but I've watched like that scene. Actually, I like the toy more than I like the scene in the movie, because unfortunately the toy, like, well, of course, in the movie, it's like basically it's like this big body and then 8 heads. So it looks pretty obvious that it's like, okay, it's like a puppet where they got like 8 different guys moving all the heads. But unfortunately, but the body's so big and there's so many heads, he can't really fight. All he can do is like sit there and move his head.
Fire.
He can sit there and like move his head, so he doesn't really, so he's not really good. But
he doesn't do
much.
But
if they do it with CGI,
yeah.
But if it was like a purely CGI creature, then he could be a lot cooler. And again, he's from Japanese mythology, so you wouldn't need Toho's permission. You could make your own. You could make your own version.
Yes.
I would think you'd be able to make your own version just based on the mythology rather than basing it on Toho.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know one fight that I would really like to see, just because it was sort of one little thing teased in 2019, is I want to find out why that Anguirus skeleton is at the bottom of the ocean. And I think it'd be cool to see like the Godzilla Anguirus fight or something like that, just to find out why the carcass ended up there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, I think that was just a nod. I think Mike Doherty. I'm guessing like maybe during the ancient times, Angus was like Godzilla's I don't know, like buddy or something, just like
Mhm.
in the Showa film. So maybe he just passed right outside of the Godzilla area. But
Oh, yeah.
still, yeah, it would be cool to see an Anguirus. Really hoping to.
Oh yeah, and with monster fights, I'm also hoping that some of them take place in like cities where
Mm,
they where the monsters are destroying the famous landmarks.
yeah.
So it's fun. And I'd actually like, well, yeah, and I hope, well, I assume they won't use like physical miniatures, but I really like physical
Yeah.
miniatures.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But that's probably
Same.
that's doesn't seem to be done by Hollywood Productions,
No,
unfortunately.
Subaraya Productions for Ultraman still does it, so we'll probably have better luck in Japan than here.
Even if they just use it like a moderation, sort of like what they did with Shin, where some
Mhm.
scenes like they would have parts of it being real, but
Yeah,
some
yeah,
being CG.
that would be really cool if they incorporate it into the TV show. I think like just finding the discovery of the Titans and like their history was pretty fun. Sadly though, like because in 2019, that's when they discovered Godzilla's lair, so we probably won't have too much. I kind of want to learn more about that. I want to see more of Godzilla's lair and how it came to be and things of that nature. But I'm guessing like maybe they'll do something. Well, I don't know if they discover because yeah, maybe we'll learn more about Mothra and Rodan. That would be pretty cool. And Monster Zero would be awesome if King Ghidorah, if they actually showed a glimpse of it. Maybe that's like the last episode they find King Ghidorah, or
Yeah.
who knows.
So what do you think? Oh my Godzilla, what do you think? What are you hoping for any particular human story?
I'm kind of hoping for. Well, I definitely am hoping for, especially with that rumor. If that rumor is true, with the Asian American actress getting cast, and then she's finding ties to herself and Monarch. I was wondering, since we're going back in time, if she could be related somehow to Sarazawa, and find a way to get
Mm,
Ken Watanabe to come back and be in the show some.
that would be awesome.
Especially because the only premise we've heard is somehow they're tied to Monarch, so maybe they're tied through him, and bringing him back would bring a lot of the human stuff that we like back, because obviously he was kind of the heart and soul of the first two movies, I think, on the people side. So it'd be really cool to get him back and have him, even if he's not a main series character, have him come in for
A cameo or
cameos here and
something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
there. We can see him up and at it, what he was up to in between 2014 and 2019. That'd be really cool. I'd like to definitely see him get involved. And then maybe, I can't remember her name, but the girl who was there when Mothra hatched. Um,
Oh,
uh,
Zhang Zi.
Oh yeah, Zhang
yeah, one
Zi.
of the twins.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get some stuff with them. So that'd be cool. Just kind of, nods to some of the old school Japanese stuff with either Sarazawa or the Mothra twins. Kind of some of that stuff would be really awesome to see, I think, for sure. And it would kind of pull the fans in, I think, a little bit more and get them engaged with the characters if you knew they had relation to characters we already know.
Oh yeah,
Especially,
sounds
I
good.
feel like that's like the best reason to go back to pre
Mhm.
2019 is because you can get Ken Watanabe back in the series. Be
Yeah.
great.
Oh yeah. I do like the idea. I do hope some of it is set in Japan.
Mhm.
So like yeah, so I think I'm kind of hoping like the characters, I hope they have something to do. I just hope it's not like, the traditional like, like military men in a room talking about, oh, what are we going to do about Godzilla? Or it's
Right.
like we just got to keep talking here until we can afford to show him again. And then
I almost want kind of like the Japanese Indiana Jones,
oh yeah.
essentially, where it's like a lot of
Right.
backstory, but then you have like exciting action pieces in who knows where.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the I keep wondering if it's going to be like the X-Files, where it's sort of like where there's like this big because it seemed like Monarch was kind of like this viewed as this kind of like
Hidden.
this fringe group,
Yeah.
and that's kind of like trying to hide. That's another reason to set in 2014. Their Monarch is still like trying to keep itself pretty quiet,
Yeah.
and so they got people like have to try to like discover, like try to just discover its existence and what they're up to.
And what would be really awesome is if we get to see Gigan in some form, because it's the 50th anniversary for Gigan. But I don't know.
Oh,
It's going to
yeah.
be a big wish.
I'd love to see a MonsterVerse redesign of Gigan. I wonder if they'd kind of lean more towards redesigning the Showa Gigan, or if they'd redesign the Final Wars more, kind
yeah.
of blend them, or for Gigan, it'd be a really cool one to see what they do with him and a
Definitely.
backstory of him. Would he be like a full-on alien cyborg, or
Yeah.
would they lean more towards one, some sort of natural beast, or what, because that'd
Uh-huh.
be cool. And then you could explore a whole, if he's an alien, have he and Ghidorah met before? You could do a whole cool backstory with him too. It'd be awesome to see.
Or maybe like a pre-cyborg Gigan, that would be kind of
Oh,
interesting.
I like it.
They can come back for the sequel.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And even if they can't like afford to do a lot of like classic Toho stuff, I think they could still probably have a lot of Easter eggs. They could like have
Yeah.
kids like have a whole bunch of hint at it, like hint at Megalon or something like that.
Yeah, Megalon. That would be cool. Wait, Megalon deserves some love.
Yeah. So whatever they could like get away with, where Toho wouldn't charge them extra money. In order to
It could be Megalon, just don't call it Megalon. We'll just, the fans will call it Megalon.
There's like, oh yeah, it would be something where it's like just the like on the TV in the background, it's like, oh, there's some report of like some burrowing monster or something like that, where it's like they don't even show it. They just sort of
beetle
like
drills.
Yeah. It's like it was a giant beetle.
Giant beetle.
Yeah. You could have like somebody being where it wasn't captured on film. Like it wasn't captured on film. It was just this big cloud or something like that, cloud of dust.
Just see the hand just
just a big drill spinning. Yeah, 2 drills spinning, that's it.
Oh, cool.
As long as there's something about it that kind of ties it to the next film, if they're going to be doing one, that's all I can really be happy about.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So there's no next film announced, but certainly it's like these films were successful enough. You'd think that they'd be motivated to want to make more.
If there was another Godzilla movie after Godzilla versus Kong, what Toho monster would you want introduced the most?
If I could pick one, I'd say Biolante. I always thought it would be really cool. I think it would kind of work really well in the universe. And it's just one of my more favorite monsters to be good with.
Yeah, I have a several, but like my favorites would probably be like Biolante, Gigan, and maybe even Destroyer, since they actually introduced the Oxygen Destroyer briefly. So that would be really awesome.
Oh yeah. I like Gigan. I actually like Gigan and Megalon.
But I really hope that the show does have more Godzilla in it than just following people. I mean, that's the whole reason why I guess we watch these things. We want to see more monsters.
Right, yeah.
And it'd be nice to have a little bit more of a focal role instead of just kind of almost like a background, like a backdrop for the series.
Yeah.
I'll be quite curious. Yeah, I'm quite curious if it's like, if there's monsters, like monster battles throughout, or if it's just sort of like just kind of like a build up to the like last episode we finally get a monster battle.
Yeah.
I think that might just kind of depend on how many episodes we get and what the budget ends up being for this show with Apple. I guess it has the potential to be large, but I don't know if they'd want to gamble a bunch of money on a Godzilla show that might only cater to a kind of niche audience.
Yeah. Well, I think the MonsterVerse did pretty well overall, especially Godzilla versus Kong. So hopefully, Apple will put some more budget into it.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
Let's get enough monsters in there just to help keep the pace.
Yeah.
And then I'll be curious if it's sort of like, I assume they won't go in some weird tonal direction. Like they won't try to make it into a comedy or have some like cute sidekick.
Godzuki.
Sidekick monster or any other like sidekick.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe they'll do the animated route where they find a monster and they have something to summon Godzilla. Like they did in the was it the Hanna-Barbera and the animated 98.
Yeah, I was about to say that one.
Yeah.
Hopefully they won't turn it into a musical. So I wouldn't mind like a song. Actually, it's like I actually didn't mind like some of the Godzilla movies where they like sing a song. It's like sing a song to summon one of the monsters.
Oh, okay.
Like
King Seesaw, Mothra.
Yeah, as long as the music, as long as it's like done well, like a song to summon one of the monsters, I think would be fine. But I don't want it to turn into a Broadway Broadway production.
Almost ends up like a Super Sentai, essentially. At
There
that
you
point.
go.
As long as the song isn't as long as the King Caesar song. That goes on a little too long, I think.
Just a bit.
Yeah, I assume they're not going to turn the human characters into Power Rangers or something like that.
But it's Godzilla time.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, there's a crossover, right, for the Boom Studios. So
I'm actually excited about that, and I'm hoping there's figures.
yeah, that'll be sweet. Yeah, I was back in when I was growing up, like I was a huge Power Rangers fan as well. So it's pretty cool to see the crossover.
Up time.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do that, but it would be one direction. You have like human characters who can like
Transform.
basically turn into like Power Rangers, and then they can also like turn into like make themselves taller. So then they could have like.
So you get your Ultraman crossover.
That would be a good way to get Jet Jaguar in there.
Well, Trendmasters actually did the whole they kind of in their commercials and like their human figures. I think they had like the G-Force with like the multicolored costumes. I don't know if you guys remember those.
Yeah, I have them somewhere.
Oh, you have them
in the other room, boxed up. Yeah.
Even have the little badge
Yeah,
that they
yeah.
came with.
Yeah, it comes with the badge. You can
G-Force.
Oh, cool.
or do something crazy like they did in Final Wars with the
The mutants.
the mutant
mutants,
people
yeah.
fighting.
Yeah, I think I can live without that in my legendary universe. But we can always dream.
Mutants,
yeah.
aliens, and kaiju.
Yeah,
Throw
yeah.
it all in.
But I actually I'm hoping for flashbacks. It would be kind of fun to have like a World War II flashback, like a little Pacific island, where like you got soldiers on a little Pacific island and they run across some Titan there.
Mm.
Yeah,
That would be pretty cool. Yeah.
All right, so let's thank our guests. We have Steve from the Geek Chest, and you can find him on YouTube and other fun places. And we also have Oh My Godzilla, also available on YouTube. Again, doing lots of great Godzilla content with a special emphasis on the toys. All right, this is Heisenberg.
Oh my Godzilla.
Even from the Geek Chest.
And G Forever, and hoping you enjoy the upcoming Godzilla Apple TV Plus show.